Hi everyone, my name is Emma. I am one of the zookeepers here at the Lincoln Children's Zoo, and this is our new special segment, Keeper's Corner, where we bring a very special animal for you all to meet. We know a lot of you are learning from home over the next couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks, and so we thought, why not bring the animals to you. So every day at 3 p.m. we'll have a special animal friend with one of our zookeepers, and then following the video there will be a very special activity for you all to do with your kiddos at home. And so for our first Keeper's Corner we have our ambassador sloth, Sid. So Sid is hanging out behind me. He is great at hanging out, and he is our two-toed sloth. So there are actually two different types of sloths. There are the two-toed sloths and the three-toed sloths. And you guessed it, it's all based on the number of toes that they have, but it's only on their front hands. And so Sid's two toes are just on his front hands, and you can count them, 1, 2, right there, but his back feet have 3 toes, so don't be deceived. But he is our two-toed sloth, and he is one of our ambassador animals, so he hangs out behind the scenes. We do have our other two-toed sloths, Chewy and Crosby, in the Animal Kingdom building. Do you know what this cucumber, buddy? Very slowly. And maybe? No, not yet. So he is eating some vegetables this afternoon, just like I hope you all are doing at home. Vegetables keep you nice and healthy. So Sid gets a very healthy diet of lots of fruits and vegetables here at the Lincoln Children's Zoo. So right now he is getting some cucumber, carrot, sweet potato, and yellow squash. Those are some of his favorites. He actually enjoys the vegetables over the fruits that we give him. But out in the wild, a sloth would be eating a variety of different types of leafy greens up in the treetops where he lives. Now, sloths are native to the rainforests of Central and South America. And Sid here is actually starting to fall asleep out here, which is totally normal for a sloth to do. They sleep pretty much the entire day. And that is also why they are so slow moving. So they don't really get a lot of energy from the things that they eat out in the wild. But because they are so slow moving, they have had to figure out some ways to protect themselves out in the wild. Because there are some pretty large predators out in the rainforest, the jaguar, the harpy eagle, even some pretty big snakes that might be preying upon some of those smaller sloths in particular. And so one of the ways that Sid has kept himself nice and hidden is by in fact moving very, very slowly. When he moves so slowly, a lot of people wouldn't, or predators, wouldn't be able to see him as easily. But another way that he can keep himself hidden is by growing algae on his back. And so sloths, they have hair that actually grows the opposite direction that our hair and our dog's fur grow from. So on a sloth, the hair actually grows from the belly down to the back. And so in the rainforest, it of course rains a lot. And so when it is raining and it soaks his fur, the rain will not only slide off the fur really, really nicely, but when the fur gets wet, it grows this algae in it. Now that algae is a nice green color, so it keeps him a little bit more camouflaged out in the rainforest. And since he is slow moving, you often mistake a sloth out in the rainforest and it just looks like part of the scenery. So that's a really great way for them to keep themselves hidden from those really big predators down there. But that algae serves another really great important purpose for a sloth. It is a great snack for them. So imagine growing maybe potato chips or cookies right on your back. That's basically what the algae is for a sloth. So it'll grow in the fur after it rains, after his fur is nice and wet. That algae will grow in his fur. He'll take his 2 toes, he'll scrape them right along his back, and then he has a nice tasty snack that afternoon. So the algae serves 2 really great things, camouflage and a tasty treat, which is pretty cool. I wish I could grow maybe pizza on my back. Pizza is my favorite snack. Yep, he's definitely just falling asleep right there. Pretty cool. But he spends his entire life up in the treetops. In fact, they only come down from the treetops about once a week to do something that we would do several times a day, and that is to go to the bathroom. And so a sloth can actually hold a whole gallon of urine in their body before they ever have to climb down from the trees to go to the bathroom. And so they climb down from the tree and they kind of go right at the base of their tree, and because if you think about it, if they were to go to the bathroom way up high in the treetops, it would give away their location to those predators out in the rainforest. And so when they come down from the trees, they will get rid of all of that stuff. But having to be able to hold all of that fluid in your body is pretty crazy. So if you have a milk jug at home, that is a whole gallon. So a whole gallon of milk is basically what he can fit in his body full of bathroom stuff. Kind of gross, but also pretty cool. And so here at the zoo, Sid actually goes to the bathroom fairly regularly, but he doesn't have any predators to worry about here at the Lincoln Children's Zoo. Oh, hi, are you awake now? Do you want, let's see, a sweet potato? Maybe? Yes, he loves his sweet potato, but he is a little bit on the spoiled side. We do cook his sweet potato and his carrot. That is how he prefers his vegetables sometimes here at the zoo, is when they are cooked. He wouldn't get that out in the wild, but here at the zoo, we can spoil our animals from time to time. And so because he's up in the treetops and he is built for a life upside down, a sloth has had to adapt a little bit for that type of lifestyle. And so if you have ever hung upside down on monkey bars or in the jungle gym, you might have noticed that the world is upside down to you. But for a sloth, when they're hanging out upside down, the world is right side up to them. So if he were to kind of flip over or be on his belly, the world would be upside down to him the way it's right side up for us. And so his eyes have actually adapted to this type of life. Do you want this? More sweet potato? Yes. He wakes up from his nap and he wants a snack, kind of like a lot of us do. And so when they're living upside down, they actually will have babies upside down, they sleep upside down, they do pretty much everything upside down. And they don't get tired when they're doing it. The way that their claws are shaped allow them to just perfectly hang their body weight from the branch that they are hanging out on, which is pretty cool. Now, some of the sloth's natural predators out in the rainforest would be maybe those jaguars, those harpy eagles, maybe those really big snakes. But they also have to be very, very careful about deforestation. I mean, the sloth can't really be careful, but we have to be careful about that because we might not even see a sloth hanging out in a tree because of how well hidden and slow moving they are. So that's one of the biggest threats that a sloth faces out in the wild is deforestation. Now, Sid here, like I said, he lives behind the scenes, but some of his relatives here at the zoo would be those armadillos, the anteaters, and those are some of their very close relatives. Now, anteaters and armadillos, they don't really have teeth, but sloths do. And so, when those teeth are super important for when they are eating all of those different things out in the rainforest. Now, they might even occasionally eat an egg or two, and maybe an insect would crawl into their mouth, so they do get a little bit of protein in their daily diet, but they tend to eat those leaves out in the rainforest too. So thank you all so much for joining us. Hopefully you learned a little bit about our sloth Sid here. Join us tomorrow at 3 p.m. for our next Keeper's Corner. And like I said, stay tuned for a very special activity about sloths that you can do at home with your kids while you guys are learning from home. So thank you so much. We will see you all next time.